Burn and T'Challa. Pretty challenging in terms of domination maps. Really gonna have to dig deep into the hero pools of both of these teams, but they have both shown a lot of versatility. That's how they've made it this far in the bracket. So many of these players excel at so many heroes in the lineup, so no doubt they're gonna be able to make some quick swaps here, but we are ready to get this underway. Lower bracket finals, best of 5, JFT taking on the Chiefs, and of course it is Gambit right off the table to start things off.
Gonna be jumping on straight into the draft here as we drift away into the Dinosaur Protector there for the Chiefs here. Now, gonna be a ban in favor of JFT here. What do they take in consequence? Is it the Black Cat? Is it the Luna? They are going to be denying the Luna this time, so not going to be able to play into any White Fox team-ups or anything of the sort. Iron Man on the hover there. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that, man.
Yeah, maybe get the Jimmies out here, you know, thinking about it a little bit. They're going to take the Devil Dinosaur save here for sure, so I like that play. We've seen Luna getting banned here. Seems like the frequency has picked up over the last couple of days. You know, she's got some damage output. Will take you by surprise, but yeah, also got to be on the lookout for those team-ups as well. White Fox, very prevalent in a lot of compositions here. Another hero that stocks are up for here in stage 1, Phoenix. Chiefs going to ban that against JFT, so do not want them to find a way to nest up and get those spark stacks off. It is going to be a cap ban against JFT, so taking that away from Whoosh, and Mantis banned out by JFT, so still looking at those damage amplification hero bans. No big shocker though. Definitely can kind of overthrow you when you least expect it.
Yeah, could be in a bit of trouble there, can't they? But looks like we are just sorting something out in the time stream right now. We'll be back into the draft before you know it, everybody. But, you know, it's always going to be that give and take situation heading into the draft, isn't it? I think the Chiefs are having a bit of focus there over some of the more enabling heroes, you know, shutting down the Captain America. Always going to be a good to make strides for a team, and taking that away from JFT with a player like Whoosh, who has had Cap as one of their staple heroes for, probably the last year or more. I can definitely understand their focus onto that one.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. If Phoenix is able to survive the draft for the side of the Chiefs, you know, you want to take away some of those opportunities for someone to get in there and counter her to stop her from nesting up. So I like that ban for sure. Clearly, the Chiefs have done their homework here, so that comes as no surprise. No motion on Black Cat in this draft phase, though, and, you know, a lot of us have been discussing, you know, is it the right move? Do you try to ban out the Black Cat? Do you try to play around her? You know, we're just a few days into having this Season 8 patch in the Pro Leagues here, so, you know, there's still some things being established. Players are still learning, kind of adapting to those couple of new heroes, being Black Cat and Devil Dino as well. But yeah, you know, Black Cat has made quite an impact here, like we said, sharpening those claws, so no doubt we're going to be seeing some. Joji's already hovering the Black Cat in the lobby, so she is going to hit the battlefield almost for sure here, unless they decide to ban her out. But yeah, you know, I also saw right before we cut back to us, Jongback covering the Elsa, who's made a little bit of a comeback over the last day or so.
Yeah, it's been great to see teams shifting focus, you know, towards some of the duelists that you think might have fallen out of favor a little bit there. So it's always nice to have more adaptability coming through, because even if Elsa was minimized a little bit heading into Season 8, she still has a great use case. You know, there's still going to be some great potential from the Glatrox to come through. The Living Bullet in particular, you can actually stack up a ton of damage onto a Devil Dinosaur by just playing into your abilities there, showcasing your strengths. So Elsa definitely is going to still be great in the right hands there.
Yeah, no doubt. And, you know, we've seen teams kind of pivot to bringing back the Elsa Bloodstone, especially when Phoenix is off the table. So maybe the Chiefs thinking a step or two ahead. The JFT's still got one ban to go. They're going to save next, and then they'll have that last ban to round things out. So maybe they're anticipating Phoenix not making it through here. But I also saw Beast Node on the Daredevil as well. And, you know, it's there's kind of this interesting parallel, right? We got Black Cat and Daredevil both serving somewhat similar purposes here. They almost feel a little interchangeable. Same with the Elsa Bloodstone and the Phoenix right now. Just kind of feels like, you know, teams are swapping between those particular duelists, and you know, considering we've seen Beast on the Daredevil before, and like we said, you know, Joji Black Cat has been a big reason why JFT have made it through this lower bracket run. I mean, no shocker to see them already coming out here. But yeah, you know, the big thing for me with Burn and T'Challa too is like we said, that first submap. Where are we going to go first? Warrior Falls seems to be one that keeps popping up over and over again, and it tends to be kind of a momentum starter for a lot of teams. You know, take the Warrior Falls when you're able to walk away with the map. So curious if that is going to hold true here. But yeah, so far pretty standard stuff, at least what we've come to expect out of stage 1.
Yeah, all stock standard, you know, pretty similar. A lot of mirror matchups coming out of the draft from a lot of teams here. Obviously, having a few different points of focus into this draft so far, and I'm eager to see if things will change up heading forward in the time stream as well, but I think we are getting word that things are going to be heading back into focus right now. The unpause has come through, and the next Protect is going to be going right alongside it. What's it going to be? It's going to be nothing.
Yeah, this is you know, there's a strategy to this, right? There's a little bit of that aura farming here that comes with the big X showing up in the draft phase, but yeah, I have to imagine maybe they will discuss that one and say, hey, you know, we really wanted to save this, and see if the gentleman's agreement comes around. But it is going to be Luna banned out from this matchup entirely here on both sides, and the Chiefs going to get some insurance here, make sure they can bring that Phoenix to the battlefield. One ban left to go for JFT, and then we are ready to get underway here. You know, like we said, the Captain America ban coming in from the Chiefs, that's against Wosh, who has proven time and time again to be a very powerful Cap player, and no shock when they're going to save the Phoenix as well. That begs the question, what is Wosh's backup plan here? We've seen him on the Hulk several times, several different maps here in stage 1, so maybe that's the fallback. But, you know, like we said at the very beginning of this match, it is going to push these players to their limits here. No holds barred, because a lot on the line here. That second invite to the Pacific playoffs is on the line in this matchup, so if you got something up your sleeves, a secret weapon you've been holding on to, now is definitely the time to bust it out.
Oh, it looks like they are going to be busting something out. The Blade, the Daywalker coming into this one. I'm excited to see how things play out for Joji and Co. as they bring out one of the arguably most unique compositions I think I've ever seen. Will they actually play it though? Probably not, but we can only dream, you know? If it's going to be a swan song for a team, they can afford to get a bit creative. You know, this is their game to play, and they can play it however they please. But for now, while we take a look at the beautiful landscapes of these maps right now, we are going to be getting prepped up and good to go on both sides of these teams.
Yeah, jetting off to the intergalactic empire of Wakanda, burning T'Challa, the first map here in this best-of-5 matchup. Lower bracket finals here. Somebody is going home at the end of this best-of-5 series, and someone is going on to the Pacific playoffs. Welcome to Burning T'Challa here. Doors are open. Couple last-minute swaps from JFT. You can never trust these players until those doors are open, but Peter's going to bring the Punisher here, and already going to look for some high ground to get things rolling.
Yeah, I like how they're playing a tight angle here. You know, it's very reminiscent of Bobo playing into something like the Phoenix there. They managed to keep the tight angles and try not to expose themselves to too many lines of sight here, because if they do, that just means that their enemies can pump more damage forward. But speaking of damage forward, it's going to be the Chiefs now drawing forward on to the mission area already and taking a little bit of control there. Looking to see if they can get a more. Beast Node already forced into the overshield here, so JFT are doing a great job to try and shut them down, but nobody takes the crown on this one yet.
Yeah, both sides losing that symbiotic resilience early here. Donald on the move on the Devil Dinosaur here, finding someone to bring into his jaws, and will take down Wosh on the Venom. First blood drawn by the Chiefs here, but Joji gonna even things out, taking down Reno, winning the Black Cat mirror matchup here. The Chiefs, though, still looking for some capture progress on this point. One body for one body. It is deadlocked so far here for this first cap. Beast Node, again, fortunately got that symbiotic resilience back off of cooldown here, and yeah, no shock that they're gonna lock horns here, but Peter will pick up one on the Punisher. Beast Node gonna get up off of the BRB from Bubble there, and OP gonna take down Donald in the Dino matchup. Double KO for Peter as well here. JFT finding him into a foothold, making 3 there. Headshot onto Reno here, and it is gonna be JFT taking the first cap.
Yeah, Peter just having an absolute field day. Locks in the delayed quad as well. You love to see it from Peter, and they might even be able to hit the repeater in a second with the final judgment at the ready there. They can combine that with the CYA if they insist, but they've got a lot of more time to try and just hold them in place here. Joji ready and waiting, already sliding forward. Final judgment coming out. It's Joji to open up the KO feed, though. Peter now looking to do more as well, forcing them far, far away from the mission area. And JFT are playing their cards right. They need to assert dominance over the mission area right now and just stall out the Chiefs as long as possible.
Yeah, solid final judgment from JFT, buffed up by Slippery's CYA, so some big damage coming in from Peter here to start things off, though the Chiefs definitely going to look to come back with a vengeance here. JFT almost 50% captured on this first point of burning T'Challa here, so looking to try and keep that foothold, keep that forward pressure applied here. The charge being led by OP, of course, big body and big health bar to keep this team alive. Feast of the Abyss from Wosh right after that symbiotic resilience, and Joji will find Jong back here, another BRB popped for the Chiefs, so right back up and back in the fight here, but they are looking at a whole wealth of ultimates and gonna let him fly here. Jong Vek on the Phoenix. Insong Inferno is good here. Donald and Zyker gonna be in the KO feed here as well. Chiefs taking a handy win in this fight. Double KO for the Donosaurus here as Chiefs gonna make the flip and stop JFT 75% captured.
Yeah, good time from them as well, because even if JFT might be able to get a flip later, the Chiefs have that little bit of leg room in order to formulate a point of resistance here. Now, they're just looking to play a little bit forward, hold their angles there, make sure they scout out the situation before engaging into any further fights. They know that they're going to be trying to go through the underground here, maybe not through the front door, but they are ready to claw their way forward. Donald playing a slow and calculated approach. Calling card now going to be coming out as well. Reno at the ready, and it's the Devil Beast Rampage coming through on both sides. It's time to stampede onto this one, but nobody's being impeded yet. The Chiefs are still holding firm.
Yeah, prehistoric showdown here, leading the way in this next team fight. Chiefs, though, still firmly in control of this capture point. Like you said, exercising some of that forward pressure here, though. Joji's got the calling card, looking for a sneak attack there, finds Bubble and takes him down. Rocket Raccoon sent back to spawn here, but it's a 2-4-1 there as Reno Donald make it the triple KO there on the Black Cat for Reno here. Chiefs battling back, and they are very quickly approaching the lead here against JFT. Jongvek picks up one, as well as JFT gonna have to take some time and dust themselves off. What a comeback here for the Chiefs.
Yeah, bringing it back in a huge way and already at the ready to match, if not exceed, JFT right now. JFT have got some things at their disposal, though. They have the Final Judgment CYA combination, which they can play into if the need arises. Jongvek trying not to give them the opportunity, gets the end song, gets a double KO onto Slippery and Peter there. That's already disengaging the old potential that they could have played into here, and they're now furthering it. Joji at least finds Bubble on the trade there, but they're going to need a lot more where that came from, as Joji now falls. Jongvek is commanding respect on this Phoenix right now. Hit the triple KO and is looking to see if they can blow anything else through quad, and that is gonna be that for the moment. But my goodness, what a way to ignite the battle. This is already heating up.
Yeah, I mean, very clinical here from the Chiefs once they were able to grasp control of that capture point. It's been theirs from 0 up to 99 now, but good target prioritization from them as well. They recognized that threat from that amplified Final Judgment and took down both pieces of it, so no Rocket CYA to buff up the rest of the team either. Kind of leaves JFT high and dry in this fight here, and as we go into overtime, we're in a short pause here, so we'll come back in OT. Just not a lot of options for JFT to try and hold this one out, so I don't know, Matt, it feels like they're gonna have to maybe cut their losses here and just take point number 2.
Yeah, I think that they are still going to have a crack at it though, because before we went into the pause there, we did see a last moment change from OP there over towards the Doctor Strange. So they are certainly putting thoughts towards contesting them on that portal combat there. So it could work out in theory, considering they do still have the CYA at the ready there. Final Judgment one in the same, and they're pretty much a breath away from a Feast of the Abyss. So there's a lot that they can commit to a further fight into this one. The thing is, though, with the Chiefs, they don't really have anything at the ready ult-wise. So if JFT brings all that firepower out to them, the Chiefs are just going to have to play lines of sight and try and sustain their way through it. Like, the closest thing they have right now is potentially their own Feast of the Abyss from Beast Node. But otherwise, it's a difficult situation here.
Yeah, defense is down a little bit for the Chiefs, and hopefully the alt tracking is on point for them, because they need to know that there's a Doctor Strange portal on the way with a couple ultimates coming out of it here. But, you know, of course, Jongvek having a lot of room to operate so far here on submap number 1, able to pull off a quad there on Phoenix. You saw right before the pause, gotten plenty of time in the KO feed, so need to find a way to get in and deal with Jongvek here. Maybe not necessarily KO every single time, but make him a little uncomfortable, make it that much harder for him to work here. So I I imagine maybe they're going to lean on Wosh here, maybe look for that Feast of the Abyss to go in deep and try to stop that Phoenix from cooking the rest of JFT onto this first map. But a good back and forth here. You know, JFT had a great first hold there at 75% as well, so just a couple fights away if they can try to turn things around, and I imagine coming back with some of those resources, they've got an opportunity to win this thing and extend this first sub-map here. But yeah, it is all going to come down to what happens on the other side of that strange portal.
Yeah, it's make or break in those kinds of situations there, isn't it? You know, it's going to be difficult for teams to try and adapt around it, but I mean, there is the window of opportunity there for the Chiefs if they can just deny them in their entirety from playing in, if not around that portal, because as soon as one tries to peek their head through, if the Chiefs can just immediately shut them down, prioritize that KO there, it could be fantastic. I mean, you saw it into the last fight, right, where they managed to shut down Slippery and Peter in unison there. The two key factors, especially Slippery, having access to that BRB is such an enabler into so many fights, and being able to disengage it did so much for them there. So I'm curious if the Chiefs are going to be able to hunt down a KO of that level again, or how the next kind of fight will go.
Yeah, and you mentioned the BRB, right? It's got to start with the KO onto Slippery. Take out Rocket, eliminate the BRB, and stop the rest of JFT from getting back up off of it. So yeah, target prioritization, very minuscule target prioritization here is going to be the key for sure. But like you said, you know, the Chiefs did it once here. They're going to have to try to see if lightning will strike twice for him here. But so far, very clean after that retake for the Chiefs here. And, you know, like we talked about, they do have a little bit of an alt deficit here. Bank account empty. Unfortunately, Moth's flying out of the wallet for them here. Of course, Beast Node just right around the corner is that feast, the Feast of the Abyss, but you know, not a lot of follow-up here, so gonna have to just try and play this thing out in the neutral. But you know, they've got an opportunity here. It's gonna take a sec for OP to get that strange portal up and running, so they've got a chance here to position themselves and prep for this fight. So looking for them to throw down some sandbags here, find some cover, and get ready to battle back, because it's just gonna be one fight for the Chiefs here. A couple of KOs will send this whole thing sideways and will give the Chiefs that first point.
Yeah, should be able to push the first point into their favor there if they can hold on to the reins on this one. And JFT, you know, they're fighting desperately to try and climb around and see if they can reclaim the mission area into their favor. But I mean, one and the same, they're sitting at that 75% mark right now. Even if they win this fight, if the Chiefs go down, there's still that further opportunity where in some reality they might be looking to play into their own portal here, and then the fight could continue on from there. So it'll be just a drawn out a battle of a portal combat all through and through. But I guess diving a little deeper into the series point of view here, Diatonic, and thinking maybe on the more extended side of things, what other kinds of maps do you think we could see focused out from these teams here?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I feel like JFT, there's a little bit of like a shotgun scatter in terms of what they're most comfortable with. You know, sometimes I expect them going into domination to succeed greatly. Sometimes we've seen them struggle a little bit. It's been a back and forth for them. So, you know, it's hard for me to tell here, especially in this last matchup. No idea if teams have saved some secret strats here for the very end. Of course, this is kind of everything on the line for them, but we are ready to get things underway here. That strange portal from OP does come through. Slippery and Peter do get the wombo combo up and running here. Chiefs will turn tail, and they will yield for this one. Let that CYA run out, and they are going to get the retake here, over 80%, so Chiefs just got to win one fight here.
Just going to have to run it down to one more time on this one. See if they can make it happen as they jump into their own portal. Reno going to be the one in charge of that one right now, trying to see if they can zone their way through onto this. Take it slow, take it easy. Whoosh! Gonna be cancelled! No Beast, no Abyss! But JFT, they don't give a damn! They're gonna be grabbing their way through there. It's the Joji effect. Donald trying to bring out the Devil Beast Rampage there, but their teammates are all scrambling through. It's just the Vanguards online right now. They're trying the best they can to stagger out the mission area. The Chiefs desperately need to get on the point, but the time, it trickles down to the absolute end. But no, Beast Node makes it back in time, but it's over and out. The Chiefs get drowned out of that first capture point. JFT start on top.
I saw Reno swap over to the Strange, and when I saw the Venom make it to the point, I thought we were going to hear that portal opening, but no dice here for the Chiefs. It is JFT, and it is yet another episode of the Joji Show here. Been a hero for JFT in so many clutch situations. Great player under pressure, and yet again will deliver. Didn't even need the calling card to do it either. 86% of the way to charging up that next ult. So very, very deadly with those cat claws, no doubt. Reno gonna go back over to the Black Cat here after no portal able to come out. But I don't know, I'm a little bit surprised here. I thought the Chiefs for sure had this thing locked down.
You seem to have become a more...
Ooh, you thought, yeah, they had it locked down, locked in, but it seems JFT have come a calling. And they are looking to bring their absolute A-game into this series right now. We'll see if the Chiefs are going to be able to run it back. You know, maybe they consider that first round the warm-up round for them. They're looking to run it back and come back in a big way into this one. They have the CYA available, so there's definitely ways they can make strides in order to elevate themselves towards a first capture on the mission area. But JFT, they got a couple of pieces at the ready as well. I'm kind of terrified of what they could bring here as Donald and Co already trying to start the show.
Yeah, if that first capture point's a button check, that's one heck of a button check here. Quite a back and forth. Double 99 all ready to start things off here. And we got some ults on rip here. Chiefs gonna cash in everything they've got. John Beck going overhead for that in-song Inferno. Bubble on the ground, getting one, taking down Joji. So Black Cat sent back to spawn by Rocket here. And the Chiefs taking total control of Stellar Spaceport to start things off. Reno gonna give JFT a little taste of their own medicine. Triple KO there on the Black Cat. And it is the Chiefs taking the first cap.
Taking it through and breaking it in. Now, still got plenty of tools at the ready as well. But I mean, speaking of tools, JFT have almost 5 ults. They can certainly look to turn this one around if they play their cards right onto this one. But they have to ensure they don't overcook it. They don't overcommit towards the fight. Reno going to be already forcing out the CYA there. Calling card coming through. Jong Beck in a bit of trouble. Now going to be shot down. Luckily, they got the BRB at the ready. Kumio coming out as well. Here's Icrig trying to do the best they can for their team, but they get washed away by Whoosh there. Peter, good with the final judgment as well, but the Chiefs are disciplined. They play the lines of sight. Donald, not so lucky though, will be the victim of that one, and more to follow. It's the Peter show, but Jong Beck says, no, the show's over, folks. It's my time to shine.
Heating up on the Phoenix, and JFT doing a little bit more cleanup here. Whoosh finding one on the Venom, trying to take control of the point here, but Reno will not quit for the Chiefs here. Black Cat back on the point and taking down Joji, who's still holding the calling card here. The only ult on the board for either of these teams, but a flip under duress. JFT in control of the capture point, but I don't think this fight has stopped since they were able to make that happen. There's a little bit more capture progress coming through from the Chiefs. They will not give this up either, and there is that calling card from Joji looking for his next victim.
To catch them off guard here, and they will find Bubble. That's the perfect KO to find here. As soon as you disengage that rocket, everything else can get locked away. And Joji still out to play, and not even done yet. Ready to save the day as they now put focus around on the Cycric there, going down. Joji fading out of the fight, and they will be able to push themselves back into the lead on the percentage mark. What a way to keep themselves on into this. Cycric's back though with a BRB, and the Chiefs are already prepared to try and run this one forward.
Yeah, JFT know how threatening that White Fox can be. They've had Zycric on lockdown this whole time here, making sure that anti-dive does not come through here, but the dive is here. Reno diving on in onto Peter. Will find one, looking to try and charge up that calling card. One more CYA down from Slippery here, trying to take control of the tempo here and control this fight as JFT up to 75%. Whoosh now got that Feast of the Abyss ready to go one more time here, looking for the next victim, and Reno as well in the hunt for one more. Will find Peter and finish them off. Punisher taken down in the lower levels. Winter, though, not ready to let this fight go as the Chiefs make the flip yet again here. Kumio unleashed and Whoosh unleashed on the Jong Beck here. Phoenix all the way back to square number one here. JFT taking some control here. Peter's almost ready to go with another final judgment. He's walking back to the point here. Chiefs, as soon as they've got those ults, they are letting them rip here. Devil Beast Rampage from Donald, the Donosaurus here, stomping and shaking the screen for the Chiefs as they are looking to try and get back in the lead lead here. Both of them jockeying for the lead in capture progress, but neither of them are ready to give any quarter to the other team here. OP's back on the point as well. Got that beast. Rampage ready to go here. 1-4-1, but it is going to be the Rocket Raccoon for JFT taken down. Big pick there for the Chiefs.
They're now looking to further it. CYA coming online from Bubble there, and they will be able to not guard the storm, but light it up on the KO feed here, forcing JFT far, far away. Joji trying to contest there. It does enable the OT at a minimum here. Peter trying to play from a distance as well, but the Chiefs, they've got that forward point of contact here. They're able to keep JFT away and match them 1-for-1 on the capture points, everybody. This is going the distance on domination. We run it into the final objective, Warrior Falls.
Yeah, and JFT caught in that same position that the Chiefs were in on Imperial Institute, trying to get the Strange Portal up and running, but just not enough time to make it there. So OP going back to the Dinosaur for now, but it really felt like that point was just a never-ending fight. There was always at least one member of the enemy team ready to start fighting once that flip was made. So a long war of attrition here, but the Chiefs position themselves very well. The ult timing works out in their favor, and they've got the last laugh there, the last couple ults to activate, and yeah, it's really that CYA that is dominating here so far. Rocket Raccoon stocks definitely up in stage 1, no doubt here, but yeah, Matsy, we are going all the way here on map number 1. JFT definitely carving out a name for themselves here in this matchup.
4, 3.
Yeah, they're making a name for themselves in a big way, and now let's see if they can make it even bigger as we jump into the final objective here. We move on up. Reno already are looking to hold things down, are playing around the lines of sight here. The pillars are going to protect them from any kind of uncomfortable points of damage, but they could be going for a flank already. You can see they're scouting them out there, playing around their utility. They've found the BRB. This is a big thing to scout out for their team before the fight's even begun.
Yeah, good find for the Chiefs. Good find by Reno here. It is a CYA from Slippery pretty early on in this fight here. Beast Node going low. Got that Symbiotic Resilience ready and got that Feast of the Abyss. No value coming off of that one, but Jongbeck will take down Peter. Gets the Insong Inferno and goes up on the ground though. Joji, yet another calling card, and Jongbeck will find him. Taken down to the discard pile is that calling card here as the Chiefs gonna battle very quickly to try and gain control of this point here. White Fox there. Zycric on the move will take down the Dino. OP gonna get back up off of that BRB. A double KO there for White Fox, and Reno again in the KO feed one more time. Triple KO now for Zycric, taking control of this third point here, and now the Chiefs will take the first flip.
Yeah, you think it's just the duelists to get it done? No, the strategists are in town as well. Big shout out to Zycric on that one, and JFT already shifting focus here. They're playing into the Daredevil and the Black Cat now across Joji and Peter, and I'm prepared for the mobility of this composition here to see if it works out, but not today. Zycric again opening up the fight, not ready to say goodnight. Whoosh coming back from the BRB as well, but the Chiefs are just overwhelming here. They're forcing them back as far as they possibly can. Joji is fighting as hard as he can, but it just ain't enough when your team's not there with you. It's a one-man mission, and they will fall out.
Yeah, pedal to the metal here. Chiefs take control of that capture point and look for all that forward pressure, just walking them down one by one. They don't have an answer yet for Zycric, who's picked up all these KOs and still holding on to that Kumiho Unleashed. So really feels like the chips all fall into the hands of the Chiefs here. They may have 6 ults by the time JFT is really ready to get this next fight going. And it's the CYA from both sides of the board here to start things off, and the Chiefs gonna let everything fly at Feast of the Abyss, as well as that Insong Inferno. Gonna play a little bit slower here. They've already picked up 3 KOs. Don't need to invest too much more. Zycric gonna take down Peter, who's over onto the Black Cat now, holding that calling card. So yet another big win for the Chiefs here. 75%, and JFT still have not found the first cap here yet.
Yeah, the Chiefs have managed to re-engage and level up in a big way into this one, and they are not allowing anything for JFT. They are not giving any kind of weakness. They know they can't afford to slip here, and they will be enabling themselves even further. Temple Feast Rampage coming out from OP. They're trying to stampede through. Kumio unleashed on both sides. Calling card from Peter as well now, trying their best to spell trouble, but it's the Chiefs giving all the trouble here. Wosh does at least find Bubble, so that's a rocket out of play. No more BRB, but there's another calling card coming in right now. Reno trying their best to battle it out with Peter there. Will be forced onto another angle here. Wosh in trouble. Does luckily have the resilience in play though, but it's Beast Node fighting Winter. That's going to be a difference maker here. JFT getting desperate onto this one. Slowly but surely getting whittled out of here. This is a problem, Diatonic. They need to fight back.
Yeah, they just don't have the resources to do it. They had to commit all those ults just to start off that fight, and now JFT one by one being dismantled by the Chiefs here. Just a second of overtime left, and the Chiefs looking for that 0 to 100, and they will have it there. Reno and Jongbeck closing it out with some double KOs there, and the Chiefs turn it around. Reverse sweep here on Burn and T'Challa, and they're going to take map number 1. Download completed here on this first map, and they will turn it around in stylish fashion to close things out. Jongbeck, the MVP, and you know, I thought coming into this match, if he got that Phoenix, he would be a problem, and so far, he has been a problem.
Yeah, a huge problem coming into that one. You know, the Chiefs very well enabling their duelist players. I mean, there's a reason that there's 18 finals across both of them. They both delivered so much work, so much passion for their team there. But Jongbeck just managed to bring it out in a bigger way there. Just a lot more damage at their disposal onto that one, and does enable them to get the MVP. But I mean, one and the same. It's consistent across both teams. You have 18 for 18 on the Chiefs. You have 14 for 14 on JFT. They're just matching each other right now. I love it. The synergy being showcased between these teams.
Yeah, these dynamic duos are so kind of characteristic of a lot of these OCE teams here, and already seeing it in action. Peter and Joji picking up plenty of KOs for their team, but unfortunately in the bigger picture here, the fights just don't quite go their way, and Warrior Falls is pretty much the Chiefs show from start to finish here. Plenty of bright spots here for this JFT squad. They've got some solid team play, but the Chiefs very quick to pick up on those strategies and those synergies, and able to find the answers very quickly. So they'll turn this thing around, and yeah, that is what I expect out of the Chiefs for sure. But JFT really making them sweat a little bit here just on map 1.
Yeah, I enjoyed how they managed to enable themselves there, playing into that Rocket and Punisher combo. You know, it was a very overwhelming presence. It forced the Chiefs to play out of those lines of sight, but even if JFT managed to find that early presence there and just really energize themselves, the Chiefs, they were just feeling them out. You could tell, especially towards the tail end of that map there, they really managed to just bring things back in such a tremendous way.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, gotta give credit to JFT. A lot of grit from this team, potentially facing the jaws of defeat here on map number 1. Burn and T'Challa goes the way of the Chiefs, but we are far from done here. It's a best-of-5 series. One of these teams going home, and one of these teams moving on to face Gen G. There's only one way to find out who it is. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Chrono anomaly located. Moving in. Target identified.
Not exactly a warm welcome, Nueva York. Optic blast!
everybody, we are back, and of course the madness of it all just went down between the Chiefs and JFT. Now there was a bit of a crazy one in that first round there. JFT did get a point here in domination, but the reality is a lot of pauses. It was a bit rough. It kind of killed the momentum a bit. It was a bit tough, but nonetheless got some footing, got some points on the board. But the Chiefs swung back hard, and we're talking with a dinosaur. They swung that tail and they got the value that they needed. That's the win con, I think, lads. I honestly think it is, and mixed it up as well with a Master Thief, Black Cat. Felicia Hardy's just crazy right now. Do we ban her? Is that the move for either of these teams? I want to know, Matsy. What do we think?
Like, honestly, it could help them, but I mean, one and the same. You saw that the teams are so versatile that even if they ban out something like the Black Cat, the Daredevil's available and they can play into that just as well, or if not, maybe a little bit less impactful, but they can still make it work if that's the kind of playstyle they want to play into. So there's a lot of options that they consider there. That's why you see the shift in focus towards some of the other bans this time around, right? Where Rocket could be on the chopping block at times, or maybe even some of the other heroes instead.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, no, Diatonic, break it down for me, because, you know, we talked about this earlier. Black Cat, Dinosaur, they're the win cons.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt we're going to be talking about Black Hat all stage long. But yeah, you know, I feel like teams are not quite ready to jump on the ban out Felicia train just yet. Like you were saying, Matsy, it does seem like they're looking at who do we ban around her to take away some of that utility or some of the extra power-ups here. So, you know, I don't think the Rocket ban is a bad idea. Raccoon stocks up for sure here in Season 8. And those CYAs devastating from both sides of the board. A lot of action on the back of those. So, yeah, maybe look at the Rocket. But I don't know. I don't think I'm ready to say Black Hat ban is the answer quite yet.
Well, I agree, because I don't think it's the answer for JFT. And if JFT's got a map pick here, that means they want to pick a map that Black Cat excels at. That's their strongest pick right now. When it comes to the Devil Dinosaur play so far, we've seen, you know, Donald has that just edge over OP for the time being. But when it comes to Black Cat, it's a little back and forth between Joji and Rena. And when Joji was the only sole Black Cat on the battlefield, everybody, it was gaining way too much value. Reno had to bring out the Black Cat as well to match it. So now, if we can get a one-sided Black Cat for JFT, that might be the move for them if they can play the bad phase that way. Hopefully, they get their second Protect this time. It was a bit unfortunate they missed it before, but, you know, we'll find out as we get into the second map.
Oh yeah, there's going to be hopefully the next Protect coming through there, but I mean the second map, you know, they're just preparing themselves for a battle here. When you think about what it could be though, I feel like there is a few things that, you know, a team like JFT has at their disposal. I always think of them as an Oraco team. We certainly could see them playing into that again here, considering how much they've been able to enable themselves. You know, you think back all the way to the tiebreaker in the preseason there, where they managed to do huge things against some of the other teams there in the past, you know, bring out that Wolverine again. Surely, why not?
I was gonna say, I've been waiting for some slice and dice action here for sure, but yeah, you know, one player I've really got my eyes on here. If JFT are looking for somebody to take care of or someone to answer, gotta be Jongvek for me. That Phoenix moving different here, and she's been a big player all stage 1, just like Black Cat has too. So, you know, unfortunately, they took the Captain America ban. Woj could not get Steve Rogers there on the battlefield to try and take care of her. So, you know, trying to find a way to shrink that space, make it a little bit more dicey for her to operate, I think is a good way to try and approach this next one. But yeah, you guys are right. You know, Joji on that Black Cat, so deadly. Cannot let him go unchecked either.
Well, you said it there, shrink that space. That's usually Museum of Contemplation, Araco, but what if you open that up a bit? Make the area, the battlefield, just have more pathways, open skies, maybe with some flyers, maybe we see some Iron Man, Storm, you never know, could be the pick brought out. But if we open up a bit with the map selection here for what JFT go with, maybe that'll enable them to have better angles. Maybe they'll be able to force Jongvek into positions where they can stage against him well. Maybe go for some long-term dive, some Venom, maybe good Venom coming out from OP could be the move as well. And as well, enable themselves with some good strategist ults and put them in positions where their Vanguards can kind of peel for them, protect them from this onslaught of the Black Cat, of the Devil Dinosaur diving in and just crunching and clawing away. That's really overall. I know. Okay, they did just that. They went to Central Park, they opened it up a bit. We're going to Dracula's Castle. Lads, take it away and let's go get $5 for Moon Knight.
Yeah, definitely want to see him try to push this thing all the way to Dracula's throne room, but I like the switch up a little bit here. Kind of caught us off guard. As you heard, we all had a reaction to that Central Park pop up here, but you know, seeing Central Park a few times so far this matchup, I'm trying to remember if I've seen a JFT run on Central Park, but we've had some real nail biters here in OCE on this map before, so, you know, considering we saw all 3 points get played out on Burn and T'Challa, I'm expecting a little more cinema here too.
Absolute cinema all the way through. I'm ready. I want to see the Moon Liger just for you.
I would love to see the Moon Knight. I want to see all of it. You know what I want to see? I want to see Moon Girl as well. Let's get her with Devil Dinosaur. Let's get that going, hopefully.
We'll team
That'd
up.
be cool to see. But I mean, I'm down for it, you know, maybe something cool, you know, like certain games out there where, you know, there's like a little extra controller for, you know, a child to join you, you know, a younger cousin. Get that rolling for Moon Girl. Why not? You can't take them out of the battlefield. They're not part of the 6-person team. Maybe they're a 7th player for fun. Hey, Marvel Rivals, come on now. It's a family game. But it's also not just for family, it's for rivals. That's right, lives up to the name of the game in here today. For Ignite, we're talking about the grand finals that's happening today. But before we get there, one of these teams are going to be the ones qualifying, and it's going to be between the Chiefs and JFT here on this glorious map of Central Park. It doesn't get any more special, any more royal than taking the throne of Dracula in order to claim your victory and get yourself even further to the grand finals.
Well, Liger, you know, you said it. Speaking of family, you know, a lot of these teams in Oceania have good relations off the battlefield. You know, a lot of sportsmanship here, a lot of camaraderie. But this is the time for that camaraderie to go by the wayside here. Boots ready to hit the battlefield. No holds barred here, especially when a trip to those Pacific playoffs are on the line here. But you know, I wouldn't necessarily rule out the Moon Knight either. I've seen a little bit of Groot Knight at least once or twice make some resurgence here in stage 1. So maybe mix it up a little bit. Go for some of that synergy too.
I'm ready for that. All in on those stocks, Dyer. All in on those stocks. I want to see the Groot Knight make a big comeback in a huge way here. Yeah, I'd love to see it, especially on a map like Central Park, you know, playing into that first mission area there. There's so many points of contact where they can enable themselves. But, Liger, do you feel like the teams change it up and play into the Atom here?
Oh, I would love to have more logs. Yeah, give me some comic revivals. I'm keen.
Well, maybe some karmic revival necessary here for JFT. The Chiefs taking map 1, Burn and T'Challa, all the way to submap number 3. So they are going to look for a bounce back here. It is their turf now as they have selected Central Park, and JFT going to be on the attacking side first. So far, pretty standard stuff here. We see the Adam Warlock hover from OP, so you guys are pretty much psychic at this point. But yeah, of course, Gambit off the table. Phoenix being banned out by the Chiefs, and JFT going to take that Dino right back to this battlefield. Same goes for the Chiefs as well. So no doubt some prehistoric showdowns in order here on Central Park.
Yeah, it's time to get Jurassic all over again, and let's see if this is the perfect park for them to be in, right? And be happy at times ahead as we do see the Phoenix bands in unison this time around. I love OP hovering over the Atom. It's almost like they heard us telepathically there, you know? They heard us talking about that Atom, so gonna be good for them. But Chiefs going for the one-sided Mantis this time. Can play into the damage boost, play into the speed boost there. There's a lot of potential that they can dive into on this one. But JFT looking to shut down the Punisher perhaps. Okay, I like what they're thinking here.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Not what I would have expected to see into this one, but no, they're going to take the Ultron ban. So they see the Mantis save. They say, that's enough damage amp for you guys. We are going to take Ultron out of the equation here. JFT, one save left for them. They're hovering the rocket, maybe potentially fearing a Rocket Raccoon ban from the Chiefs as they've got one ban left standing. But yeah, the Phoenix ban's very interesting here. I was saying, you know, Jongvek on that Phoenix, so deadly. Got to find a way to deal with him. And it seems like the answer is just to take her out of the picture entirely here. No Captain America no Captain America ban, I should say, this time around against JFT, so potential for Wosh here to hop right back on that. But there are the picks and the bans for this one. Chiefs gonna take that Mantis. Reno gonna hop right on there, and I do see some Loki potentially coming out from Bubble here as well.
Yeah, I like to see the Loki being hovered onto this one. They might be looking to go for the revival cycle on this. Make sure you play in to the Atom and the Loki and you can do just that. But I mean, Zykrek is hovering over the Invis as well here, so they can look to have the boundaries on Cycle as well. There's a lot that they can play into with this one. But speaking of the dinosaurs, we do have the double punishers coming. It's one, it is going to be Primal Judgment on a line on both sides of the scale, but there's the one-sided rocket. Could it be a bit of a challenge here? Joji, considering their options on the Duelist as well, they thought maybe they play the Elsa. Looks like the Groot Knight is going to be JFT's way to ignite the battle.
I was gonna say, Liger, you got your wish here. Moon Knight showing up in map number 2 of the night here. And it is map number 2, Central Park here. JFT taking the first attack, and the Chiefs a nasty composition coming out here. They do make that Mantis save, so they've got Vibrant Vitality potentially on the table with Beast Node taking that Groot. But yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of Karmic Revival from the Chiefs here, as they are gonna look for that God of Mischief to copy that one. But JFT now gonna try and throw the gauntlet here and take control of Central Park and get Ratatoskr all the way to Dracula's lair.
Yeah, looking to take it the full distance onto this one, but for now, the Chiefs are doing a great job at just holding firm over their position. JFT are trying their best to prod their way in, but with Beast Node to worry about, with the walls there, they really have to consider their options forward. I like how the Chiefs are actually enabling themselves onto the high ground as well, because it means that JFT don't just have the one lane to consider, they have to consider other options too. CYA, though, going to start the fight off strong for JFT here. They've already found Beast Node, and the Chiefs are evacuating straight off the mission area.
Yeah, not even 60 seconds in. JFT's got boots planted on the point here. It's the Punisher's boots here. Peter walking in on that point. 2 ticks and still on the move here. Joji chasing him down on the Moon Knight. Will find Reno, so Adam Warlock already sent back. It's going to be an early Strange Portal from Beast Node here, as the Chiefs are going to try to right the ship here and take control back over this first point. There's the invisible boundary for the Chiefs as well. Zykrek has that one on the ground, and Joji taken down by that Invis. We'll get right back up off of that BRB and in the fight, and we are maybe looking at some combinations here from JFT coming through before too long. Almost ready to go for some Groot Punisher back-to-back action.
Looking to go back-to-back on this one. Awosh does have Strangling Prison available now. Might be able to use it, but it's going to be the final judgments to come out on both sides right now. Jongbaek trying their best to see if they can shut down Peter, but no, it's Peter and Go starting the show for themselves here. The Chiefs are forced to play out of the line of sight on this one, and the majority of them will fall there. So stalling out, and it will be Peter now pushing forward on to the flying box, the zip line there, and they're going to be good to take the line of sight.
I was about to say Punisher taken to the skies of Central Park here to start things off. But yeah, band for band, Punisher ult for Punisher ult here. And it's Peter that walks away the victor of this one. And JFT have plenty of resources still in the tank to keep this cart moving. Almost halfway to checkpoint number 2 already. They've got the Moon Knight. They've got the Groot. They've got plenty of options here while the Chiefs are doing a little bit of catch up. Though Beast Node could pull off a big Eye of Agamotto and throw a wrench in the works here as they're looking to round this first corner. There goes that Eye of Agamotto, but does not make its mark here. Donald, though, the Donosaurus, double KO off of the Devil Beast Rampage. Jongbaek at the KO feed alongside Beast Node as well. The Chiefs putting a stop to this JFT run.
Yeah, great point to stop them in their tracks as well. Just as soon as they convert onto the convoy section of this one, the Chiefs now manage to formulate a stance here and won't allow any further advancement from JFT. But JFT, they've got a lot of tools in order to enable themselves. They're almost heading towards a full stack of ults here. They just need to pull the trigger on something, and it is going to be the Devil Beast Rampage from OP to start strong on this one. Now playing into the Strangling Prison, forced out the boundary there off the God of Mischief from Bubble. The Moon is coming down as well, so there is a lot being committed to this fight from JFT right now, but the Chiefs mostly sustained through it. They managed to commit a couple of boundaries into the fight in order to sustain, but I mean, 2 ults for the price of, what, 4? That is insane value for the Chiefs here.
Yeah, huge props to the strategist line. They play right on through the Groot ult. They play through the Moon Knight ult. So much damage, so much potential from JFT. Unfortunately lost in translation, but as the ults settle here, Peter, OB, and Slippery will take some KOs for a JFT. Reno over onto the Elsa Bloodstone now, and will hunt down the Moon Knight here. The Moon not haunting the Monster Hunter, as the Chiefs gonna look to try and gain control one more time. JFT staring down the door to that second checkpoint with 2:30 still on the clock, and a final judgment as well.
Still plenty of time to try and cook this one up, but it's going to be Peter to try and lock this one in with a final judgment here. Playing from the back of Ratatoska there. Donald being pumped up with damage. The regeneration domain popped, and it's going to be Algamono locking Joji in place. More to follow. The Maelstrom from Beast Node. Absolutely fantastic. Slippery at least is able to bring back Winter with a BRB there, but JFT are already forced into a hard reset here. At least they've still got plenty more time in order to regroup and re-engage into this one.
Yeah, the Chiefs really making JFT fight for every single meter of progress for that card here. Now they've got a big advantage. The pendulum's starting to swing their way here, and a little bit more forward pressure now. The Chiefs feel a little bit more comfortable about their odds here. Glartrox now, Apex Predator from Reno, and will find a double KO. Monster Piercer's shots are good here, taking down Wosh and OP as well. Frontliners taking out the equation in this fight here, and the Donosaurus there moving in as well, still holding that Devil Beast Rampage, not ready to let it fly just yet, but now the Chiefs looking to lock JFT down into their spawn.
Yeah, the spawn hold is absolutely fantastic here. I like the change up on to Joji on the Old Faithful. It's Bucky time, baby. And when there's Bucky, there could be hexes, but against the Chiefs, that's going to be tested right now. Wosh on the Emma as well. You know they're trying to adapt. They're trying to make it work here. Going to be the Devil Beast Rampage is coming out. Soul Resurgence, CYA, it's all in play here. And the Beats Node will be the first to implode there. A great start from JFT as Peter just stacks up the damage right now. Donald in big trouble, forcing out the boundary from Zycrick there. But JFT, they're doing a great job just pelting out damage from a distance on this one.
Yeah, nothing scarier than a Devil Dinosaur than a buffed up Devil Dinosaur, and this too, a Kraken impact from Joji here, all reliable, coming in clutch here, double KO, looking to make even more here, plenty of pressure from that being activated alone. It's a triple, and that is going to be all they get here, but they will find that second checkpoint, a minute 50, and no, Joji going to keep it going here, making another KO there against Reno, already sent back as well. Beautiful stuff on that Kraken impact, a minute 40 left to go, and JFT are looking for that third checkpoint.
Yeah, when you see Joji bring out the Bucky, you know he's getting serious. Not going to be an OTP anymore, though. Joji can play much more, but you know it's going to be great when this one comes out the gate here. And we now look to push her through the gate as well, as the Chiefs are holding her from the back lines there, trying their best to maintain control as JFT try and gain a bit more momentum over this one. But it's Reno. Glartrox coming out there. Wosh going to be great to capture the KO on the start of this one, and looking for more of the diamond form. Diamond Crusher offline. They're already straight back normal form. So on a Seduction. Now trying to keep them in place onto this one. Playing around that body barrier, though, does allow them through, allowing them to hold in place.
Yeah, I love that they're trying to force out that boundary here from Bubble off the Loki copy, and now the buffed up final judgment here. CYA giving Punisher all that extra damage, extra pressure here, and now JFT knocking on the door of the throne room here. Double KO for Peter. Joji slept for just a moment, but he's going deep, and he'll take down John Beck on that Mantis. A double KO for that Bucky. That swap, huge value for him here, and now the question is, can the Chiefs find a way to stop him? 0.65 meters, and they will make the stop for the time being. Donald's got that Devil Beast Rampage here, trying to find a way to get one more foothold here as the time running out as well. So both sides running out of resources, running out of space here. One more invisible boundary for the road here. That is Zycrick for the Chiefs, trying to get this team on some life support. Beast Node will find one on the back of that Maelstrom, and the Eye of Agamotto pushed back by Winter. All those force physics coming in so clutch here, keeping JFT safe and sound, but Reno getting in deep, getting Slippery taken down. Beast Node will find Winter as well here. Strategist for JFT offline, and it is a matter of time here. The whole team going offline, and the Chiefs will stop them just short, a couple of meters before the map clear.
Can you believe it? JFT so close yet so far there. The Chiefs managed to lock it down, lock it in when it counted there. I really enjoyed some of that focus from Reno towards the last part of that one onto the strategists, trying to dish out the healing from a distance, but Reno was locked in on those key targets and managed to make the KO count when it needed to. So going to be great to lay things into place here, but JFT now going to be forced to play onto their own defensive side. You saw them gain a lot of potential, a lot of momentum on to their attacking side of things there, and will they be able to match that in their own defensive capabilities? This is where they're going to be tested.
Yeah, it's a solid push from JFT. Gives them plenty of breathing room here. Unfortunately, they do leave the door to victory unlocked here for the Chiefs. Just a couple of painfully short meters away from closing this one out and at least making it a little easier on themselves here. But yeah, you're right. You know, Reno swapping over to the Elsa Bloodstone. It felt like for a while there, Joji on the Bucky had his number. Reno came back with a vengeance at the end, said, psych, that's the wrong number, turned things around, and the Chiefs were able to find that last minute miracle stop. So they know what they got to do here. 112 meters towards checkpoint number 3. Basically got to hit the rug of Dracula's throne room if they want to try to take this map.
Yeah, they're going to have to really give it their all into the last points of this one, aren't they? But you already like to see the change up here. Joji is playing onto the Wolverine. One problem they have is they don't have access to Primal Flame here because there's no Phoenix for either side. But even without it, Joji can still make a big difference. They can play into the Feral Leaps there, disengage some of their opponents onto this one, and really can go leaps and bounds. But speaking of, the Chiefs are already pelting down damage onto the Vanguards at JFT right now, and they aren't able to sustain through it. They're forced to give so much ground already.
I was going to say leaping and bounding for sure here. The Chiefs, though, got a couple of swaps here. Reno now over onto the Moon Knight, so they're going to look for a little bit of that Groot Knight action here. OP, though, taking the fight to Donald. Dino, the Dino here, and the Moon haunting JFT, and haunting indeed their triple KO from Reno. Double for Donald as well. There's a BRB from Slippery to get Winter back up in the fight, but it's only the strategist going to try to find a way to hold this one. I saw Peter over onto the Strange for a second there, but no good. 5:30 on the clock for the Chiefs now. A solid opening salvo.
That's going to be a huge way to bring things out in the beginning there. They are looking to change up some of their heroes as well. Beast Node playing into the Strange this time, and Reno will be playing into the Elsa. So it goes to show that they aren't just going to be full send on one set of heroes here. They're ready to adapt depending on what a point of contact they are going to be meeting them at here. And Donald is enabling themselves onto the high ground there, playing into the Psionic Vortex as well, and looking to command respect on the mission vehicle there. Regeneration Domain popped as well. CYA offline now from Slippery, and the Chiefs are doing the best they can to just hold through this one.
Yeah, the overhealing great here for defense. Great to try and shed off some of this time. 4:45 still on the clock for the Chiefs here as they hit the halfway point to checkpoint number 2. Winter's got the invisible boundary here for them, and OP's got 1 KO right onto Beast Node. Dr. Strange holding the Eye of Agamotto sent back. Zykrek has the invisible boundary for the Chiefs now, trying to give them some space to fight in here and some space to make room for this cart to push on through. Devil Beast Rampage from Donald, but it's Jong Vek on the Mantis that'll find OP. Peter now, final judgment. No backup there from the rest of JFT, but enough pressure here to try and slow things down. The Chiefs, though, will not yield. Bubbles got that God of Mischief, copying the invisible boundary now, and Beast Node gonna make his way back to the fight here, holding that Eye of Agamotto. The Chiefs now just meters away from checkpoint number 2, and there's the Apex Predator from Reno. Close quarters combat for the Chiefs here as the Eye of Agamotto comes through. A Beast Node taken down by Peter, shotgunned down. Does not matter, though. It's a 1 for 5 favoring the Chiefs, and speaking of 5 minutes again in their time bank.
Plenty of time to lock into this one, and they're going to be very happy with that. Beast Node now getting on the switch up to the Emma Frost here, so it's going to be Diamond Form combat here, trying to trade blows on that one, and eager to see how it all plays out as they head towards the final stand, the final stretch of this one. JFT still got plenty of tools at their disposal, enough to draw out just under 5 minutes. It's going to be difficult, but what isn't difficult is to bring out the Psionic Seduction body barrier there. Going to deny some of its impacts. They aren't able to catch anyone. Poor Whoosh forced to retreat out of this.
Yeah, a little bit of poking and prodding here from JFT, trying to find a way for them to get those heels dug into the dirt here. Slippery, CYA ready to go. Some overheal coming in for JFT. 1 for 1, though. Zykrek and Whoosh gonna find some KOs, and Slippery's got OP's back here. Dino back up off of that BRB, and he is right back and ready for the fight here on the Staircase of Doom. The Chiefs getting closer and closer to the finish here, and Zykrek gonna help extend that lead. 1 KO onto Whoosh. Apex Predator from Joji now, who's picking up the Elsa Bloodstone here. Does not make its mark, but able to get some pressure, carve a path for them to fight in, and Zykrek again on that invisible woman, finding another KO. Beast Node takes down OP, and Zykrek double KO now from the backline, and the Chiefs are on a rampage.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop onto this one, and they're already playing further up. They know that they can't afford to give JFT space here, especially where they are. Peter bringing out that final judgment as well. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs heave their way in, lock it in for the second there, and that is going to be series point now in favor of the Chiefs.
And so swiftly, completely blew my mind here, especially considering JFT, a solid offensive push for them. It's Zykrek picking up the MVP on that staircase of doom. So many finals on that invisible woman, and now the Chiefs 2 maps up to JFT's 0 here. They are still looking for a way into this series. The Chiefs, though, that last minute or so, just rapid fire offense. They push Ratatoskr up the stairs like it's nothing, right into the throne room and right into the 2-0 lead they stand on now. I cannot believe it. What a shocker there at the end.
Yeah, shock and awe coming through all the way in there. Just when you think JFT had an impressive hold in the beginning there, no. The Chiefs managed to greet them and exceed them onto their own attacking stance there. So incredible strides being made into that one, bringing a lot of swiftness into their tenacity, and very eager to see how things might change up heading into the third map in contention.
Yeah, I mean, time very quickly running out. There is no more room for error for JFT here. And again, they have a lot of bright spots here on Central Park. They are putting up a fight. This is not a walk in the park, all pun intended, for the Chiefs here. I mean, they really had to work for it, but it felt like once they got that time bank built up, you know, such an early checkpoint one, almost nonstop push to the second checkpoint, and then once they got to the stairs of doom at the very end of the map, it was all but over for JFT's defense. So, I mean, again, just up and down one after another. It felt like as soon as JFT were dusted off and ready to get back in the fight, the Chiefs were there to deliver them another team fight loss.
Yeah, they just knew how to just disengage them time and time again, right? Because the Chiefs just remained steadfast, remained disciplined. Even if JFT had ult advantage in a lot of situations, the Chiefs were able to adapt around it, ground themselves, and they just burnt through. Like, JFT were committing like 4 ults to a fight, maybe even more at times, and it just didn't work out because the Chiefs just knew how to compose themselves there, and I gotta give them respect for that. You know, they managed to hold themselves accountable and did a great job.
Yeah, it's like you said, so many ults committed by JFT, and you can really only take that much value loss once or twice, but the Chiefs able to find a way to play around it. Even when it seemed like they should not have had a chance in some of those fights, they walk away almost unscathed, and they walk away with a win here on Central Park. They're up 2-0 now, standing on match point, and one map separates them from another run-in with Genji in the grand finals. Don't go anywhere. We will see if they close it out right after this.
Chrono anomaly located. Moving in. Target identified.
Not exactly a warm welcome, Nueva York. Optic blast!
Guys, you would not believe it what Diatonic just said in the break room. He just said reverse sweep starts right now. Guys, is this what's going to happen? Is JFT going to repeat history once again? They gave us cinema yesterday, but we're going to go to the theater once again today. Is JFT going to start a reverse sweep? Ooh, I don't know. It's on the Chiefs to find out. I mean, look, let's look at the facts. They played the ban phase a bit differently here. Now, as we know, we got to give props to Zycrick. Zycrick's boundaries were insane that last game. Just constantly denying all the pressure from the Sonic seductions, okay? All the pressure from the Agamotors, especially anytime we lawyered up. They denied it. They broke the argument and they left court happy and no charges filed. So that's what the Chiefs walked out with. They walked out with a second map victory. And I got to say, look, you know, we got to talk about it. Matsi, Reno's Arsenal. He got crazy duelists that he can pull out of the bag. Black Cat, target ban. Phoenix, target ban. He still has that Elsa.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, about the current state of the game right now is no matter what duelists you're going to ban out, there's always an alternative. There's always another option. It feels like such a duelist-centric meta right now because of the amount of duelists that you can play into. Like, nothing is really going to be just taken away from them because there's always another way forward.
I mean, Diatonic though, what do you think? How do JFT start this reverse sweep that you so-called believe may happen?
Yeah, I mean,
There's
I think there definitely is. You know, I kind of wrote him off in that matchup with Kanga, and they turned things around. They proved me wrong, and this time I'm looking to be in the right side of history this time. But yeah, I mean, definitely tough. If you're going to target ban somebody, a duelist player is probably the most challenging one to go after right now. I mean, and especially considering we have so many talented players here in OCE to play so many duelists like Reno that, yeah, it's tough to chase that one down. But, you know, obviously starts with the map pick. We're back in JFT territory once again here, so I'm looking forward to see where we go next because should be Convoy on deck for us this time.
Well, if we're going to go to Convoy, there's a lot of great choices for maps. We go to Midtown. Midtown's pretty good. Okay, we could go, you know, maybe even to another fun map. You know, what's another fun map? Araco. Araco's another glorious map. You know, as we know, Convoy, prey maps, you know. There's even, maybe we could go, you know, to other things, to many other things. Just as long as we don't go to Museum of Contemplation, I'm happy. Okay, we don't need to contemplate once again. Okay, everyone says, oh, it's a good map, you know, it allows us to hold the door, get a quick victory. Right now, you know, Chiefs are the one who want the quick victory. Are you sure you want to pick Museum of Contemplation, JFT? Is this what you want to do? You want to give Chiefs the chance at a quick victory? Or maybe they want a quick comeback. Maybe they want to start their reverse sweep sooner than later. Maybe they do go for that game plan. We're going to find out very, very soon as the map is getting locked in, as these teams are getting ready for the third map in this best of 5 series. Now, here's the beautiful thing about this. All these teams have earned their spot here in Ignite OCE to be here on finals day. Okay, the winner will go ahead into the grand finals and of course get a bigger chunk of change out of that prize pool. But of course, it's not all about that. It's all about your willpower, your belief in yourselves as teams. And I gotta say, earlier today we saw a pause. Now, think about a pause is it gives you a moment to kind of breathe and figure out if your team needs a bit of a mental reset. When you take a breather, how important is mental when we're talking about the finals day, Matsi? Like, it's just crazy. Like, pressure gets to you, nerves. The simplest of tactics, the simplest of calls, moments, combinations, dive, staging formats, it could all go down the drain if you're just not calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, Liger, because if you're not able to keep your cool, especially on such a high-stakes day as Finals Day, then your biggest opponent is just going to be yourselves. No matter what kind of team you're facing, you're just going to be outplayed by yourselves there. So I guess there's a lot of pressure on the players as a whole, but then also onto the team's coaches to keep them collected, to keep them calm, you know, to really ground them coming into these endeavors, because otherwise you can just outplay yourself time and time again there. So definitely going to be great to have some time in between the maps here, you know, for the teams to calm themselves down, cool the jets for a second before they prepare themselves onto Liger's favorite map.
Hey now, it's Diatonic's favorite map, not mine.
Is it? I'm more of a Midtown guy personally.
Well,
yeah,
you know, whichever map it is, it's Museum of Contemplation, fair enough. Diatonic wants Midtown. I wouldn't mind Midtown too. Araco's nice too. But it doesn't matter, everybody, because we're going to what could potentially be the final map in the lower bracket finals. If the Chiefs lock in victory here at the first section of Contemplation, that's right, because we're not going second or third, guys. Statistically, we're not going second or third. It's not happening, okay? Black Cat denies that. I was about to say Gambit. Gambit has been denied from even entering Museum of Contemplation. Okay, he's not even allowed. 100% ban rate so far. I don't know about all of you. Put the predictions down, everybody. Is Gambit gonna finally be let through? All I know is we saw some unorthodox gameplay, especially last round. We did get to see a glorious Moon Knight ult. I saw that, everybody. Don't worry, it was amazing. So shout out to Arena pulling that off. But I know there's some good Moon Knight players on JFT as well, so maybe they call upon the moon to see if they can have some fun in the sun. We'll find out as the teams get ready for this match, as everybody gets going. I gotta say though, Diatonic, how do we feel right now about the dinosaur? Right now, it's not being targeted against Donald. Why are they letting him still play this dino? It's just too much.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell they're really trying to take him down in those fights. Donald putting up insane numbers on damage blocked on that scoreboard every single map. But yeah, it is surprising. Teams seem to be keen to try and just take the fight to Devil Dinosaur rather than just getting rid of him in the ban phase. But, you know, we've talked about it a lot. That draft so brutal because one ban opens the door for so many other things there. So I don't know if we'll see any kind of adjust there. But yeah, you got to watch out for Donald. He has picked up that Devil Dinosaur and ran with him. You know, I got to know him playing Magneto. The LeBron, the dunks are insane. Now he's picked up Double Dino as well and is putting in just as much work, if not more, on this new hero.
Well, you know, OP is right there with Donald as well, bringing out a bit of that Magneto as well, bringing out that power of the Devil Dinosaur. But here it is, everybody. This could be it for the Chiefs, and they could go to Gen G or JFT, begin the crazy lower bracket run and continue this madness.
This is madness. As we jump in to the museum here, maybe this is where Gambit's been locked up, you know? Maybe they're locked up alongside the Maestro Hulk. Who knows? Maybe they'll break out of the museum eventually. Might have to have a chat to the Collector, perhaps. We'll see what happens as we are going to be jumping in to the draft. And Gambit is still going to be locked away with Phoenix actually shut out by the Chiefs there. Devil Dinosaur going to be protected on both sides, though. So probably going to see the mirror matchup again, at least in the beginning portion.
Well, hey, you know, they broke Devil Dino here out of Museum of Contemplation, and somebody had to go back in the cage in his place, so seems like Gambit has been the not-so-willing participant in the Collector's collection here, but yes, it is going to be dueling dinos yet again. OP and Donald have been battling it out in the background of every single map so far. That definitely not going to change here. Mantis being banned out by both sides as well, along with Phoenix too, so they are going band for band here, mirror across the board, maybe not in the same order, but definitely looking to try and bring the hurt here as, yeah, Museum of Contemplation, kind of interesting pick. You know, like we talked about earlier, JFT looked pretty good on maps like Araco, so I was kind of expecting to go there, but Museum seems to be the favorite of a lot of teams here in the Pacific, so they are going to bring it right on to this one for map number 3. Luna Snow save from the Chiefs this time. They want to get that dance floor moving. JFT having a little bit of trouble figuring out what to ban here, but it is going to be the Black Cat. I saw that Ultron for a second, though.
Yeah, not going to see the Ultron this time around. Still going to be let out here. JFT looking to play into the single-sided Black Cat. So, definitely excited to see if this will enable them, whether the Chiefs aren't going to be too fussed at all about that. Lot to be considered here as they go for single-sided Black Cat, but also single-sided Luna here. And the Chiefs have all the flexibility to play right back into that with Zycric on the White Fox there. And we've seen what Zycric can do on that White Fox before, because Zycric can absolutely rip and tear their way through. So they're now considering their options here. Do they play into this triple strategist lineup here alongside the Atom, perhaps? There's a lot that they need to take into consideration.
Oh yeah, that Zycric White Fox running the show on Burnin' T'Challa all the way back in map number 1 of this series. I say all the way back, but it feels like a short one here as the Chiefs taking the first 2 wins here and now looking to get another chapter in the rivalry between the Chiefs and Gen G. One map stands in their way, one Museum of Contemplation. Is this their swan song, the last note they need to finish off this lower bracket run, or can JFT start to turn things around here? They did have a reverse sweep against Kanga, one that I thought they could not pull off, so they're no strangers to being able to do the impossible here, but the Chiefs have looked so clean, and they have been the one team that's clashed over and over again with the likes of Gen G, so they have experience at the top level here in this region. JFT, though, life bars blinking red here, critical. This is their last life, and they are on the attack first. Welcome to Museum of Contemplation, and the Chiefs gonna look to take the fight straight to JFT's front door. Winter there, though, getting a little cheeky, getting a little bit of flank invis here on the move as they're going to take some high ground.
They're taking the high ground already, trying to scout ahead, see if they can stage themselves for the fights ahead of us here. But it's going to be a Winter and Co. still just maneuvering the map to a T here. The Chiefs are trying to take on multiple lines of contact, but all in the same. JFT are getting free reign over multiple lines of sight. Joji going to be the first one down though, so it's a great start from the Chiefs here. They can force JFT out of orbit onto this one, but for now, they just maintain course, stay in their lane, and don't overextend.
And taken down at the hands of Reno's Elsa Bloodstone. Saw her on Central Park last map, and now she is here yet again and ready to help bring the Chiefs potentially to a 3-0 end to this series. But JFT, plenty of time here, still 3 minutes on the clock for this offensive run, and Peter's got one, a crit on to Reno. So one member of the Chiefs down and going to be walking it quite a ways back here in the hunt for Beast Mode as well. He goes pretty low on that cap. The backline for the Chiefs, though, ready to get him right back up and back in the fight here. Slippery, first one to build up to an ult over there. Got the CYA ready to go. They've got 2 strategist ults online. Gonna need to take advantage of them here. Jongvek, though, on the Ultron, goes for the rage of Ultron, but Joji getting the Black Cat moving here. Claws sharpened and ready for their first victim. Donald will find one in response, so it's a 1-for-1 here. But JFT getting ever closer to that first checkpoint.
Getting closer and closer onto this one. They have almost 4 pieces in order to enable them here. It's going to be the final judgment, the first one online. Joji was ready for the calling card as well, forcing out the freedom charge onto this one. The Chiefs trying their best to barge their way through. Big focus over onto Peter there, but Peter refuses to fall. Joji not so lucky though, because they have to focus on Peter. So Joji will go to the wayside with the BRB. They're right back in it. Beast of the Abyss going out, just down bubble there. Boundary coming up. Forcing out the Kumio unleashed onto this one. Devil Beast Rampage is then beating through as well. Nothing else are going to be cooked up as yet. Reno still has the Apex Predator though, so if things get desperate here, they can commit it. There you go. We'll be able to utilize it, shutting down Joji there. Now looking to follow through as well. They catch Wosh off guard. 1.5 minutes remaining onto this one, Diatonic, and the Chiefs are doing a great job to force the reset here.
Yeah, the scent of hot breaks in the air here as that Batsmobile screeches to a halt. JFT had a beautiful early pick on the bubble, sending Luna back as that fight broke out, but they just couldn't commit there. The threat of that Apex Predator from Reno giving them some cold feet. Now they've got a couple more resources ready to go here. They've got some big damage output potential if Joji can find the mark here on that calling card, but they're ready for another fight here, and it's that Devil Beast Rampage from OP. Dueling strategist ults from the Chiefs, though, on the floor. It's the dance floor, the fate of both worlds. An overhead satellite there from that rage of Ultron by Jongvek. We'll find a couple members of JFT, OP, and Winter going to be sent back to spawn for now. 45 seconds on the clock, and JFT got to find an answer here.
Yeah, they didn't answer quick, and they don't realize that Joji's actually playing a very close endeavor as well for JFT. The Chiefs might get caught off guard by Joji. They're playing the back lines here. There you go, already taking to the skies, trying to rise up. Shot down Jongvek. They find it. So an incredible start, and they aren't even done yet. They found 2 strategists out of the whole vault here, and they will be able to send the Chiefs packing. Exactly the enabling factor they needed there in order to push them close to the mission vehicle. But it's portal time, Diatonic. Final fight potential here. Here we go.
Yeah, sent them packing, but a quick return flight here for the Chiefs. They're on the point and ready to go, but Peter's ready for them. Final judgment here, trying to make it their final move to get this first checkpoint, but it's Jongvek, first blood in this fight to take down Joji. Slippery's BRB going to get him right back in the fight, and there's the calling card we've been waiting for. They're fighting under the umbrella of that invisible boundary here, so they've got some space, some room to breathe, and it's Wosh coming up big there. Joji in the KO feed as well, but a double for Venom here. 4 members of the Chiefs offline as Joji will find a double for himself. Peter gets one and make it a triple KO for the Felicia Hardy here, and a miracle at the last second. JFT will find checkpoint 1 and get 2:30 back on the clock.
Yeah, a ton of time built back up for them here, fighting their hearts out onto this one. At long last, they break through the first objective there. Now need to get past the next checkpoint ahead of them as well. This one arguably even more difficult to try and break through, but Joji again always looking to scout things out, go for those flanks there, see if they can just get one opening KO in order to start that domino effect here. You can tell they're already prepared for it. Wosh alongside them, Joji rising to the skies there. Jongvek in a bit of trouble, but they are managing to move out of it. But Reno going to be the first one to take aim at it. Joji brought right back there with the BRB again and again though, and JFT just continually relying upon that factor.
Yeah, comes in clutch at every single opportunity here, but Reno got the lock here on this Elsa Bloodstone. It's alt fights yet again here. Slippery's got CYA. Peter gets buffed up from it and takes down that Elsa. Overhead Rage of Ultron that cannot stop the Rage of Frank Castle here. Peter finding John Beck, taking out the sky. Joji gets one as well onto Bubble, so Luna out of the equation here. Zykrek gonna unleash that Kumiho here, trying to find a way for the Chiefs to get in this fight, but Joji slamming the door shut yet again here. Beast Mode taken down. Zykrek goes to the grave here thanks to Peter. Headshot from that Punisher, and the path wide open here. 1 minute left to go, and they're gonna look to try and lock down this second checkpoint. Final Judgment comes in big again. It'll find Donald. Big shots onto the Dino here. Fate of both worlds forced out by the Chiefs as they look for an opportunity, but none will find its way to them. Whoosh taken down the Luna Snow. Joji a double KO as well. Reno will stop Peter dead in his tracks here, but only 2 members of the Chiefs left standing. It's just a matter of time for JFT to get this checkpoint.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are doing a good job just to stall out time here. Obviously can't play into any further portals, but Donald is just sustaining through it all. Devilbeast Rampage coming online as well, so the Chiefs somehow sustained through that whole endeavor, but JFT now refocus and lay devastation onto the back line of the Chiefs there. So Donald, despite being able to survive through that whole bout there, will finally beat the end of the song. So it is going to be JFT pushing it over the next checkpoint, and we are on to the final stretch here.
Yeah, serious war of attrition for both of these teams. They've played out some long fights all throughout this series, so it is clear JFT still got some fuel in the tank and still ready to keep this thing moving. That Batsmobile gonna transform into the Doctor Strange, so definitely squeezing him a little bit tighter here. Gotta fight on the raft to keep that cart moving. But JFT, they have come up with a couple miracles here. They've got 1 minute and 15 left to go to try and close this one out. The Chiefs, though, ready for a fight here. Beast Mode has the Freedom Charge and gonna let it fly here. Bubble finds Joji, though. Surprise attack from the Luna Snow here. She will catch you off guard every time if you're not ready for it here. But taken down, Joji gets up off the BRB and seeks his revenge right away here. Reno going over onto the Daredevil now, but he is hunted down by the Punisher here. That's another one for Peter, and JFT are taking advantage of every second they've got left here, about halfway to this third and final checkpoint, and they are looking to sweep the way clear here. Whoosh taking down Donald, and the Dinosaur is going back to spawn for now.
Yeah, going to be forced back to spawn for the moment, but a moment too soon it will be. Fight happening in front of our very eyes here. Ocean Co ready to try and stow away. Galactic Legend online though, doing the best to damage their way through this one. Will pick up Peter and looking for more around the corner here. It's Reno now. Good to get the flanks through their Diatonic, but this show ain't done till it's done.
Yeah, no strategist ult for JFT, no umbrella to protect themselves from this damage coming out from the Chiefs now, taking full advantage of the body advantage they've got on this point. OT in effect here, but hardly any members of JFT online. Peter's got plenty of time to get the Strange Portal through here. Gonna have to walk around that Dino though. Donald poking his head through to say hello here to JFT as they try to get back to the payload here, but Joji will not make it back. Jogback cutting him down on the Star-Lord here. It's a Devil Beast Rampage from Donald with just a second of overtime left here. Whoosh has that symbiotic resilience ready to go here. Goes for the Feast of the Abyss, but can't find a KO, but it's the Chiefs coming up big in this last fight here. Slippery and Joji, the only ones left standing, but they are not standing on the cart, and the Chiefs find the stop again. 115 meters to checkpoint 3.
Yeah, find a stoppage at a critical moment there, and JFT managed to stop the Chiefs from letting the Devil out, but it didn't matter. It didn't stop the amount of energy that the Chiefs were able to bring through in towards the closing time of that endeavor. So, gonna have to really bring out their A-game again into the attacking side here, and I mean, we've seen this song before into our last map. Will the Chiefs be able to re-engage with that fiery approach again?
I was gonna say, we're back in this position again. JFT have thrown the gauntlet, and they've thrown it far, but we saw their defense crumble under the might of the Chiefs back on Central Park just one map ago. So, of course, the Chiefs are gonna look to try and capture that once again here. It looks like they're gonna make a couple swaps here. John Beck was on the Star-Lord at the very end, but now on the Psylocke for the time being. Whoosh gonna pick up the Captain America for now here. Winter White Fox ready to go here. Bubble's gonna stay on the Luna Snow, and she definitely put in the work there for the Chiefs on defense. But this is JFT's last opportunity here. They could not find a way to stop the Chiefs on Central Park, but they have to find it now. If they want to stay alive here and have a chance to turn this series around, this is the time. Doors ready to open. The Chiefs on the attack now, looking to try and close out this series and get a rematch with Gen G.
Looking to lock it down, lock it in, and it is going to be the mission vehicle on the move here. Jongbak trying their best to play around the sides of this one. See if they can just divert JFT's attention for a second here. Joji already a bit of trouble on this one. Jongbak will be in the rear end here, trying their best to get the damage pumped up. Will be forced to fall back to their team here, but again and again, you know, because of these distractions, the Chiefs have managed to get a lot of movement over the mission vehicle for free.
Yeah, definitely a couple of close calls for the Chiefs, but they are buying themselves plenty of space here. Already over halfway to checkpoint number 1 there, thanks to Jongbek and some Star-Lord moves. Did not take the Psylocke into this one for now here, but maybe thinking about it. 1 KO there for Peter Quill. Finds Slippery. Reno double KO early on here on the Daredevil. Peter trying to even the odds here, but it's a 1 for 4 and a triple KO for Reno. Make it a quadra KO for the Lawyer of Hell's Kitchen. Beast Mode on the Captain America as well, and that path forward wide open here for the Chiefs.
Yeah, gonna be a wide open and ready to lay claim to this first checkpoint, but not too soon. Will be a portal. JFT already gonna be swept out. It's the Reno effect coming through with John back there. Onwards and upwards, it's KO City for the Chiefs, and they will be laying claim to that checkpoint and moving on up all over again.
Yeah, rug pulled right out from under JFT's feet almost immediately. They walk right on through, and like clockwork, assembly line up, then back down. The Chiefs find another ace here, and that's plenty of free real estate for them. 4:45 on the clock, and that card showing no signs of slowing down here. JFT, though, they had a couple of bright spots. They do have 2 ults. They've got a Punisher ult ready to go that can be buffed up by that CYA, but you gotta watch out for that Galactic Legend. There's no, it's just gonna be the CYA. That's the only umbrella they've got here. Slippery going low, but does get the CYA down, and there's the final judgment from Peter here, trying to capitalize on the damage. Will find Donald the Big Dino taken out for now, but that might be the only thing JFT are able to get out of this. Those doors to those side rooms blocking the shots from Peter here, and John Beck gonna fight right back, taking down the Punisher as the ult goes offline. He will get up off of Slippery's BRB, but now the Chiefs, the pendulum swinging back in their direction.
Yeah, swinging it back in their favor. The winds are in the sails there, and whoosh, now going to be taken down a puny banner form and taken out of the game. It's going to be the Chiefs swarming ahead on this one. Great burst fire from John Beck and Co. Will at least get the trade on the Slippery there. A crucial KO, and more now flowing ahead for the Chiefs here. Whoosh going to be back online in hold form as well, though, so we can at least stall things out in the fight there. Like El Reno staying forward, that commanding presence with Donald. Ensure JFT can't just free rein back over to the mission vehicle and contest them.
Joji is going to try, though. He's going to let the devil out. That's going to bring out the fate of both worlds from Bubble, and Jongbeck's got that Galactic Legend movement as well. Playlist popping indeed here. The Chiefs going to find 2 KOs. Okido will get up off the BRB, and Cypher going to hunt down Slippery, making a double KO there for the White Fox. Goes low, but gets healed right back up. Beast Mode finding his way into the KO feed. John Beck and Bubble right there as well. That's another checkpoint for the Chiefs, and they've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds to find a way to get to the end of the road here.
Yeah, plenty of time in order to try and pave the way towards the end of the journey, and JFT gonna have to draw the time out as long as they possibly can onto this one. They need to play their cards right, need to stay disciplined here. All they have right now is the CYA. Chiefs, all they got is the Kumio Unleashed at the ready, so a battle could already ensue into the neutral here as both teams try and charge themselves up. They are taking it slow and steady. JFT good on the high ground here, so they can try and use that advantage against the Chiefs, try and scout things out and look to see if they can overwhelm on an angle. Speaking of, the CYA now coming out. Kumio Unleashed going to be forced, but Donald is the first to fall. There's Iceric soon to follow, so JFT swallowing it up there, and we'll be able to stop them.
Yeah, good early picks for Peter here for sure, but there's still so much time on the clock here, so they are going to have to do that over and over and over again here. Ult's going to have to be placed perfectly from here on out, as there is still 3:30 on that clock, and now Reno's back in action here, taking down Joji, wins the Daredevil fight, and looking for even more here, not satisfied with just one KO. Reno diving right in onto the backline, and will find Slippery. Peter taking down Judge Shuri, who there, as the Punisher sent all the way back to spawn again. Winter gonna unleash that Kumiho here, and it is even 2 for 2, but Donald gonna try to turn the tides for the Chiefs here once again. Still 3 minutes on the clock, but the bodies for JFT, they're running out of people to stand on this card and hold it, and the Chiefs have all the ults here. JFT don't have any resources, and they don't have any time left. It has been a long road through the lower bracket from them rising to every single challenge, but the Chiefs here, a tsunami that cannot be stopped. Museum of Contemplation, map number 3 is all they've got left here, and the meters tick away, and the Chiefs will snuff out the final tournament life here for JFT.
So the ensemble comes to a close. The Chiefs will close the book, close the chapter on a JFT there, and will be able to claim their spot in for a rematch against Gen G into the grand finals. And with this, everybody, we have both representatives of the Oceanic region locked in for our pack playoffs later on in June. So get excited for that, everybody. But speaking of this last map, Reno going to be taking away the MVP for the Chiefs.
Yeah, no shocker there. Really started that last domino effect in that final fight that got the Chiefs the map win here. 46-8 with 16 finals on that Daredevil. So moving different for sure on this matchup. But yeah, these are your 2 representatives here from the Oceania side of Pacific. It is going to be Gen G and the Chiefs. And as we've seen since the very start of preseason, could it really have gone either way here? Yet again, these bitter rivals that have developed over the last month or 2 here are ready to do battle again and ready to take the fight to the Asia teams as well. But of course, before we find out who are going to be the Asia representatives, we've got that ultimate showdown here on deck. And I don't know, I feel like the Chiefs might be ready to go here. A solid 3-0 win in the lower bracket finals.
Oh yeah, if that's a warm-up, I've definitely seen it. That is going to be a great way to fire up the engines there. You know, they're going to need it. They need to be fired up and bring as much flair as possible into the next endeavor here. And you can see there was plenty of huge moments across both sides there. I mean, JFT, they were cooking in a lot of instances there, but the Chiefs, they just know how to decipher them, know how to stifle their efforts there. And they're going to need exactly strategies like that heading into their grand final matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this has to be a great warm-up for the Chiefs here. They gotta be, limber for a fight against a team like Gen G. But again, props to JFT. They made the Chiefs work for it. None of those maps were a complete runaway win for the Chiefs here. So again, those teams kind of in the middle of the pack, JFT, DXA, Kanga, it seems like that gap is getting closer and closer, but the Chiefs will still maintain that space.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, there it is. That's the lower bracket finals done. The Chiefs, I did have a feeling it was going to go this way. I did have a feeling maybe the swan song finally had to come to an end for JFT. But nonetheless, they belted out that final verse and they put on an absolute banger here against the Chiefs. But it will end at the end of Museum of Contemplation. It did go to the final section, so we got to see more of the map, everybody. Maybe I won't dislike it as much anymore. But until then, we will, of course, have a quick chat with one of the players from the Chiefs and see how they're feeling before they go again into another grand final, right, everybody? And Matsy, you said it earlier, everybody, if you don't already know, that means that Gen G and the Chiefs have qualified for the Pacific playoffs. They will be heading on out to take on the top 6 teams in Asia, which will be decided over the next couple weeks as well. We're going to be covering that on Ignite Pacific, don't you worry about it. But it is, of course, a bit of a farewell and a salute, everybody, to JFT, putting on a stellar performance, taking 3rd place in OCE, really, truly shaking up the bracket right there. Other teams were suspected to take that spot 3rd and 4th. People didn't peg JFT to get top 4, but they took top 3, locking in 3rd place, locking in that prize pool chunk for themselves. That's a crazy feat nonetheless. And Matsy, you've been casting a couple of these players for a long time since Collegiate. They've come a long way.
Yeah, they've gone leaps and bounds together. Seeing the rivalries, the synergies that are coming across multiple teams there. You know, it's been amazing to be able to cover their journeys. Like JFT, they've been fighting. Joji has been fighting so hard to just place their way into a playoffs style endeavor there. Always just shy of it, you know, always relegated down to 5th, 6th place, but being able to close it out on a 3rd place placement there is going to be a huge victory for them and theirs. So a big shout out to JFT for giving it their absolute best, you know, to earn themselves their place here.
Couldn't agree more. There's so much that is on the line for themselves here. I mean, Diatonic, you have spoken so highly about these teams here in OCE. You've done your reports, as we know. Shout out to the Rivals Report. You have gone out of your way to detect every little detail we need to know about the potential of these teams. And honestly, you called it after seeing that tiebreaker happen during preseason. You said, let me take a deeper look at this OCE region. Let me have a look at these teams. I don't think it's as clean cut as people think it's going to be. Everyone thought it was going to be a carbon copy of how preseason went. So far, not the case in the lower 6, but it is in the top 2. Once again, it's a rematch here in a final, in a massive stage here in Ignite. It's going to be Gen G taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs again climbing from lower bracket after they got sent down by Gen G at the very end of upper bracket finals. They're back again, a little bit of a rebound, a little bit of a bungee jump situation. You know, let's see if it's going to be their time to finally take it back. We're going to find out very, very soon how they're feeling. We're going to have a chat with, I believe, Jongvek. And I think it's time to actually speak with Jongvek. Let's get into it. There he is, Jongvek on the screen, duelist extraordinaire. Congratulations on securing yourselves and the Chiefs to the grand finals. Now, how is the team feeling right now? Happy, surely, but I think you guys have your eyes on a big challenge.
Yes, big challenge indeed. We're feeling pretty good. We went into this JFT. Well, personally, I went into this JFT match a bit angry with. I feel like I didn't perform that well yesterday into Gen G. I think it was wasn't my best showing out of the best of 5. So I wanted to make sure today I felt warmed up and extra ready and extra prepared to run it back again.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you guys looking so clean today. Feels like you guys are ready to take on this rematch here. You know, we've talked a lot about you specifically, Jongvek, and Reno as well, kind of one of those mini dynamic duelist duos here in Oceania. But, you know, beyond that, for your team, is there kind of an unsung hero or a player that we really need to be looking at or talking about more?
I think Beast Node is a really big pillar in our dive comps and sort of giving us a bit of direction in the draft. He does a lot of the bans, or we double check with him if we think this is a good ban or bad ban. So he does a lot more than is expected of him, and we all really appreciate it.
Love to hear it. You know, always going to have the pillars there to keep yourselves grounded, but it's been a grounded eyes forward. You know, you guys have managed to make it through to the Packer playoffs. Who do you think could be some of your biggest contenders in the Asia region?
I think the big 3 are sort of Reject, Z10, and I think EXO are looking really strong with the roster changes. I think the pickup of JT3 and Felix is really strong. I think they're going to be top 3 or top 2 team.
Most definitely. I mean, that's literally what we've expected right now. And I got to say, we all were waiting for it. We were all waiting for the Chiefs to show a big showing and finally get a chance to take on other regions. And you're going to get that first step taken on Asia. So we're looking forward to seeing you lads get into the mix of that. But before that, we got to settle the grudge match here in OCE. And listen, I'm gonna give you the floor right now. Listen, we want a bit of fire going into this final matchup. Maybe this is the last time we speak to you. Maybe you or one of the Chiefs players returns for that winners interview. We don't know. We're about to find out, obviously. But is there anything you want to say to Gen G right now? Because this is it.
I'm really excited. I remember rewatching after preseason our matches with them, and I after we took those maps, I could hear a lot of panic and despair in their voices. I don't think they've ever been threatened like that before. So I think if we can take a map off them, they'll start to crumble from the inside out. So that's our plan.
Okay, you think you can bring the fire like you did last time, but this time maybe turn up the heat. Hey, listen, the whole world's watching, the whole world's waiting, the whole world wants to get into it. We're going to let you go, send you off to your team, of course. Thank you, Jean-Vic, for coming through. Massively appreciate it. Best of luck to you and the Chiefs in your grand finals matchup. Woo! We can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I want to shout out Wounds as well, just quickly, because he's been we used to play on the same team and Q ranked a lot, and he's just been a real big support, hypes me up before all the matches and stuff, so just want to give him a quick shout out there, but thank you. Thank you.
Shout out Wounds.